Welcome to Gather Veterans, our service provider spotlight series. We try to do these on a weekly basis where we can just highlight organizations that are serving veterans in some way. And just kind of are going with the mission and living the life of veterans and just helping them as they go. So today I'm excited. We finally got it secured. That's exciting. Brad and Ken from 92 for 22, just a little south of me. I'm in Traverse City area here in Michigan, and you guys are in Grand Rapids area, correct?
You're up here.
So, I don't know. I'm originally from Illinois, so I'm like, I never know which way to turn my hand. If you guys want to do me a favor and turn your volume just down a little bit, because I can hear myself echoing a little bit. And we'll just blame it on Brad. That's cool. So welcome to Gather Veterans. Welcome to the crew from 92 for 22. I'm going to kind of hand it over to you guys and just let you share who you are, where you come from, what you do to serve veterans, and then how people can get a hold of you and all that good stuff. So whoever wants to go first, you guys can kind of duke it out. I'll sit back and watch the show.
I'm going to pass this over to El Halfway.
Easy.
Go first.
I didn't even have to win rock, paper, scissors for the first time.
I was looking forward to it. Oh, man. All right, you're up, Ken.
All righty. So, yeah, we're 92 for 22. We raise awareness for veteran suicide and PTSD in the community. And we do this with the different events that we do throughout the year. But the biggest one, which everybody always asks us, where does the name come from? And the name comes from the biggest event that we do every year, which is our 92-mile walk. We walk 92 miles for the 22 veterans a day who take their lives, and that's on average number per day of veterans that take their own lives. And we want to raise awareness in the community because not everybody knows the signs. Not everybody knows what to look for in the veteran that they know. So when we raise the awareness, we allow people to learn what different signs to look for so that they can hopefully prevent that veteran from taking their lives. And we do just raising the awareness in the community with the events that we do.
Yeah. So the whole thing is us veterans, we are stubborn by nature. We are not going to reach out. We are not going to reach out for help. But we accept help if it's offered to us.
Sure.
Right. So we lean heavily on the family members, the husbands, the wives, the moms, dads, grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, whoever, because they see the changes in the vet before the vet actually does it themselves. So there's a bond between veterans that cannot be broken. Right. If you ever hear a conversation like between our other board members, Derek Cox and David, they're both in the Army.
Okay.
Ken and I were in the Marine Corps.
Sure.
We make fun of Derek and David.
Yes. Just expected, right?
Right back. But at the end of the day, we respect each other. There's a bond there. There's a love that it's very hard to articulate what that feels like.
Sure.
So, that's the added benefit too of connecting a veteran with us, because we can connect to them on a whole nother level that, it seems weird to think that a mom and dad can't connect with their son or daughter in the way that another veteran who hasn't been a part of their life can.
Right. So yeah, for sure. So it's nice to know that it's not just events, obviously raising funds and the PTSD awareness and suicide awareness, but it's also the camaraderie of kind of finding a group that you're okay. So do you guys just focus on where you're at, the area you're in? What kind of area do you span? How does that all work?
I'll cover this one.
So, perfect. It's different having two people to work with in these interviews. Again, I'll just kind of let it go.
Well, Fred and I do these quite a bit, so we have a pretty good, back and forth. Sure. But our day jobs, we also help vets, buy and sell homes. Right?
Okay.
Ken's an agent. I'm a VA home loan specialist, and I have been connected with a national group of loan officers and real estate agents from every state across the country that have the same mindset. It's always about the veteran, helping the veteran transition home and, buying homes and, so on and so forth. So I have a rather vast and large reach with a lot of agencies and different nonprofits.
Sure.
So we are, yes, we're based out of the state of Michigan, and that's who we 92 for 22 can help. Yes, absolutely. Okay. But that does not mean if you're in Texas, we can't help you.
Sure.
One of my good friends and a teammate of mine lives in Texas, and he's very highly involved in that, the veteran world down there.
Nice.
So all I have to do is go, hey, Steyer, what you got for this? We did this with a PTSD dog last month. So he connected us with whoever, and boom, we're helping vets in El Paso, Texas.
Nice.
Even though we're not in Texas.
Right. It's awesome.
So, yes, to immediately help, if a veteran needs money, state of Michigan, right?
Sure.
But if a veteran needs to just talk to another vet, we're always here.
It's awesome.
Right? So
awesome.
In our board, we've brought on to cover all the elements, right? So last year we found out really quickly that male veterans don't connect to female veterans easily, right? And it's not because of the male female thing. It's just there's a lot of stats, and we are not going to go there, but there's a lot of things that happen that could cause this, right? So we brought on a female combat veteran, right? So she's now on our board, and she gets to deal with all the girls that need it.
Right. That's awesome, though.
And we also found out that us Marines were awesome, but we do need a diversify, right? So we brought on Derek Cox. What unit was it with? 101st Airborne. That's what it is.
All I remember is the blue cord or something.
Whatever, Derek. So and then the reserve component.
Okay.
So we brought one of them on, Mike Bonneau, who for a long time, he struggled with the fact that he joined, he was a weekend warrior. He got hurt. He couldn't deploy, and then he got medically discharged. So struggled mightily with overcoming that.
Sure.
Right. So everybody's transition is different. Everybody's story is different. But at the end of the day, we're all in this together.
Right.
And Ken and I have found out that the more we share about the things that we go through, the more open and vulnerable we are, the more people we can help. Right.
Sure.
Nobody's the same. Everybody's transition is differently. It's completely different. But I listened to Jocko podcast number 121 with Jake Schick. And it was a 3-part podcast where it was Chesty Puller, the greatest Marine ever to walk this earth, right? Chesty's son, and then he closed it with Jake Schick. Chesty is this war hero that spanned, he went from private to general. Like he's got a stack of ribbons, 5 Navy crosses, Chesty's son was a lieutenant in the Vietnam War, and he stepped on a landmine, lost both arms, both legs, became overly depressed, took his own life.
Sure.
Right. So he closed it out with Jake Schick. And Jake got blown up in Iraq, lost a leg, half of an arm, struggled with drug addiction because, fentanyl and all that. But his story aligned a lot like mine, but with some tweaks. However, he lost a leg and I have a half of an arm. He's crushing life, and I'm over here being a bitch. Why? Sorry, pardon me.
It's okay.
That's the beauty in sharing our stories, because people resonate with small parts and they see you at the end of the tunnel. They see you have gone through it.
Yeah. Using the inspiration part of it.
So we reach in, grab them in the tunnel, and pull them through.
Nice. I love it. So you mentioned the 92-mile walk, Ken. So tell me a little bit more about that. Now I'm intrigued. I'm that's a whole lot of walking. Where do you guys start? Where do you end? How does all that work? Is it groups? Just give me the lowdown on the 92-mile walk.
Well, the first year it started out in Comstock Park and then went up to Cadillac. Okay. And at that point, the 92 for 22 wasn't its own nonprofit. Brad and I weren't involved in 92 for 22 at that time. But that's when the founders had decided that they wanted to, during that walk, they were raising money for another nonprofit. And while they were doing that, they decided that, hey, why are we doing this for someone else? We want to see where the money is going to be going that we're raising. So 92 for 22 became its own nonprofit shortly after that.
Nice.
And us, we did creativity, right? So the name was 92 because we walked 92.
Right.
22. So
there you go. I was going to ask that where it came from, but that answers that one.
Yep. What is it called? White Pines Trail that goes from Comstock Park up to Cadillac. So that's what they walked on. And then the following year we went from Marne to Ludington.
Okay.
And then last year we went from Grand Rapids down to Stevensville. This year we're changing it up a little bit. Instead of going from point A to point B, we're going from point A all the way circle around back to point A.
Nice. Okay.
Just logistically, it's going to work out a lot better. However, with the situation that's going on right now, we had to postpone it because we were supposed to be stepping off next Thursday.
Oh, man.
Dang.
The biggest thing,
Brett's like, wait, I wasn't quite prepared.
because you still have to prepare some more. Huh?
We need that training time.
Right.
I'm going to start training tomorrow.
Yeah.
Here we are.
You're like, crap, it's next Thursday already. Well, good thing it got postponed for you, Brad.
Yeah. And the biggest reason, I mean, we're walking outside, so we can go outside or we could walk if we still wanted to, but it's not gonna. We're not gonna get the connections that we were looking for.
Okay.
With this walk this time, what we're planning on doing is each day we're gonna stop at a different restaurant.
Oh, nice.
That restaurant is where we're wanting our supporters to come and visit us and to celebrate that day with us.
And not restaurant. It's, these are veteran owned.
Logically, strategically chosen.
Correct.
Yeah. And the restaurants are also the ones that we meet at the end of the day are giving back to 92 for 22 also.
That's awesome.
If we can promote that, and then which comes to why we had to postpone because restaurants are not open right now.
Sure.
So
do you guys know when that's postponed for? Or you just kind of waiting to see what happens in this lovely state of Michigan that we live in?
Yeah, we have to wait for Michigan to open back up completely to where they're going to allow people at the restaurants themselves.
Okay. Yeah, right. Yeah, because if you bring a crowd, you're hoping that everyone can come in.
So
that's so like the first 3 days that we do this, because we walk 20 something miles per day.
That's a lot.
We intentionally overloaded the first 3 days, so that, only a smaller group walks, because there's a lot of logistics that go into every municipality in which we walk through. Right. We have to get ordinances and all this other stuff, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Right. So we're hoping that the impact that we make are on the stops on those 3 days.
Okay,
the last day we condensed it down because, so we're going to go hard and heavy the first 3 days. So on day 4, we're hoping to have mass participation. This is the day that people would come out and join us to walk the last leg of 12 miles. Right. So we'd end at Buffalo Wild Wings and have a party.
Nice. I like it. That's very cool. Very cool. And then go ahead.
That's our biggest event is that. And that's where I think a lot of people, especially the ones who have participated in the 92 miles in the past, you would think that, oh man, I did it once. I don't know, but they're actually excited.
Good.
especially the participants that we've had. We pick up more participants along the way. Last year we had an individual that stopped and just asked us what we're doing. So happens to be he was a Marine veteran. And the next morning, guess what? He was right there.
That's awesome. That's cool. So if people want to participate, do they just kind of jump in with you guys? I mean, is there like a registration fee? I mean, how does all that work?
Well, there's registration on our website. We need everybody to register because there's waivers that have to be signed.
Sure.
So we're not held liable, and then the different cities that we go through can't be held liable if anything happens.
Sure.
So, we have that on our website that I believe you put into the comments.
I did.
If you look under the walk tab, it's there.
Awesome.
Yeah, so the whole thing is we encourage people to come out, right? Because I know that when I first got involved with 92 for 22, I was a little apprehensive, right? I've been out of the Marine Corps for 10 years at this point, and I'm still a little hesitant to bring it up and just comfortable with it. The acknowledgement of thank you for your service, that kind of stuff. Right. So I heard about their walk, and I'm like, hey, I'm good at a few things. Let me offer my help. Right. So I helped with the advertising and things. And like, my goal is I want to have enough people to walk that we stop traffic. I want to stop traffic. Right. Nice. So it was a fall walk. It was a 22K. I show up in the morning, still apprehensive, but the minute that I see the camouflage pants and boots, some dudes wearing silky PT shorts, right? And you see the poolies getting hazed. It's like, oh, I'm with my people. Yeah. You forget that bond that you've built when you were in, right? So it was very comforting to be embracing the suck of this walk with these guys, right? And girls. And from there, I continued to be involved, and the things that I do as a loan officer help streamline the processes tremendously because of the digital age. Sure. Right. So from there, I just became a board member. So Ken and I have been with 92 for 22 for a year and a half now.
Nice. So, and you had mentioned, kind of just on a side note, you had mentioned kind of that 10-year mark where you were still apprehensive of kind of like, oh, I'm not sure if I want to get into that, what the group is. That you kind of mentioned that was your experience. And I think that holds a lot of weight. I think for maybe people that are watching, like, it's not an instantaneous thing. You're not like you get out and you're like, yeah, great, sign me up for everything. Like, what has been your guys' experience with that on an individual level?
From me personally, well, I should talk about what I see in vets every day, because all I do on my day job is I help vets use their VA home loan benefit. All I do is help vets. So I can tell, and I can almost predict what stage of the transition they're in by what they say, because it's funny. Everybody follows along the same kind of path, and there's about a half a year into the transition is when you supposedly hit rock bottom, right? Sure. And you go up from there. And now whether or not you come out of that, that's on you. But everybody's individual experience while in really impacts the way that they transition out. So there's no magic formula or anything. Sure. It's just one of the hardest things that I had to learn how to deal with is the acknowledgement of a person saying thank you for your service. That's right. And Ken knows this too, and he struggles with it when we're at a public place and whoever's on the PA says, can all veterans stand so we can acknowledge your service? We're like, oh,
getting nudged by my wife to stand up.
Yeah, I'm like the wife going, stand up, like stand up. I know an experience.
Last year, I was asked to be the hometown hero at a hockey game, and I'm like, I don't want to do this, but what forced me to do it was the fact that me personally need to demonstrate and be the example to my daughters of what a patriot is. Sure. Right. So I'll be damned if they look at Ken to be the true patriot, not me, right? You look at me first, right? So I'm like, all right, here we go. This is going to suck. So the whole time before, so it was happening period number 2 within like 5 minutes of the start. So I had to be in my seat. And the whole time I'm pacing, like I'm like sweating. I'm calling Ken. I'm calling all the dudes from 92 for 20. Like, this sucks. Like, I am so like worked up right now, like anxiety stricken and like whatever. So I go down to my seat, and then it dawned on me that I played college baseball with Finn, the mascot, right? Oh. So I shot him a text like, hey, dude, just to let you know, I'm the hometown hero. Come see me when they announce my name. So I was like, oh, cool, dude. So they say my name, and I'm standing there, and I'm just like, and then out of nowhere, Finn is jumping over these seats, and he jumps on my back. I'm like, thank God. You know, it was so, like, thank you for taking all the attention away. You know, but I did it, and I'm like, oh God, it was probably 10 seconds, but it honestly felt like it was a week. So I sit down, and I'm like, whew. And then I looked at my phone, and I'm getting text message after text message after text message from all the veterans that were in the stands, like, you're so gay, you're so stupid, what do you do? You know, glory, you know, like, oh my God. But I did it. I don't want to do it again, I don't think, but you know, it's just one of those things that everybody, you know, it's your own comfort zone. I know a lot of people embrace it. They're like, oh yeah.
Right. Yeah, cool. What has been your experience, Ken, kind of with that transition time, and
I had a little bit different than a lot of Marines or a lot of service members, because I spent my last years in the Marine Corps and a majority of my time in the Marine Corps on recruiting duty.
Oh, okay.
So I wasn't on a base. I was out in the public. I was, you know, so my transition was a little bit different than everybody else's. The hardest part for me was the fact that because I spent 22 years in the Marine Corps, and one day I'm up here, I'm the master sergeant, and I have a lot of people that are under me that I have to listen for.
They have to listen.
Yeah, they don't have a choice, right?
And then the very next day, it's like, boom, nothing. I'm now down here.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
what was cool is the fact that I was one of Ken's first recruits.
Okay.
So that's cool. But he ushered me into the Marine Corps, and I ushered him back into civilian life.
Yeah. There you go.
It's been a lot of help. I think that the biggest thing that has helped me out is the fact that obviously being with 92 for 22, because I'm still around veterans. I was, I guess, lucky enough that in October they voted me as the president of 92 for 22.
Congrats.
I just hope that's because they feel that I can take on that responsibility. Not just
you have the most
not because I was a but and then also within real estate and working with Brad, I would say about 90% of my clients are veterans also.
Nice.
So to help veterans not only when they're in the time of need, but then also to help them to meet that life milestone of becoming a homeowner. That's awesome, because Brad and I and everybody else feel that if we can have a veteran become a homeowner, they're less likely to take their lives, because now they have a sense of ownership.
Right.
And that's what we're all about with 92 for 22. How can we prevent somebody from taking their own lives, thinking that they're permanent?
Permanent solution to a temporary problem.
Problem. And that it is a bigger impact on those that are left behind. You know, the hurtness, and that's what we want to try to prevent. So if we can assist them in other ways, and then also assist them with 92 for 22, I mean that's like completing that full circle right there. So
we impact 22 every waking hour of our days, right?
That's awesome.
We do whatever we can to decrease that number, and there needs to be. We need more help. I mean, we haven't decreased that number yet, and sadly, it doesn't include active duty.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Right.
How does that get skewed? But the more we do, the more impact we can have. Right.
That's awesome. Okay, yeah, you guys are like in the thick of it. Like every day, like you said, working on the VA home loan end of it and home ownership, and then also with 92 for 22. It's awesome.
Yeah, the biggest thing that I realized when I transitioned out, I didn't know anything that was available to me, the resources that were out there, how to do anything, because, you know, I'm surprised Ken didn't say it, but, you know, when I got out back in my day, it was a 8-hour death by PowerPoint, 1 day VA benefits class called TAPS, right? So they go over all the benefits you've just earned. In Ken's day, they took less than 1 week. So 22 years to train him to be a Marine, less than 1 week to transition home. Okay. So when the timing of this TAPS class is given at the wrong time, because when the student's ready, the teacher appears. Right? Get back to when you were in 12th grade, you're getting ready to graduate high school, and you're in a class in April, you can't pay attention for the life of it.
You're like, when is it done? Are we done yet? Yeah, I went out.
All of us are like, well, 12 days and I wake up and I'm not wearing pants, I'm going to grow my beard, whatever. Right? So,
spike my hair, color it blue, purple.
Things out of the TAPS class, but you don't retain all of it. Right. Sure. So when you get out, you're just out there defending for yourself. So, but civilians think that us veterans know our benefits.
Sure.
So the fact of the matter is we don't know anything about our benefits. Right. I use the VA home loan every single day. Right. There are so many changes that happen that it's hard to keep up. Like every once in a while, it's like, oh crap! Like when did that change? Right. So I mean, it happens. So never assume that a veteran knows their benefits, because they also, us veterans, are our own worst enemies, right? Because we want to help other veterans out. But what are we doing? We are regurgitating the same nonsense that we were told before. Right. So it's even worse with the VA home loan. I mean, you'd be shocked at, oh my God, it's appalling. Like,
I can't imagine.
World, because it's so easy to place blame on the VA.
Sure.
Right. Yeah. So it's
we didn't know. They didn't tell us. Or they're doing this wrong, or they change things. Every single day it seems like. If a lender pulls your credit, they say, well, you're below the min FICO score the VA requires. Well, it's not the VA, it's the lender. The lender itself. So that veteran's going to go back and tell 20 other veterans that the VA only requires 660 as a FICO. It's not. Right.
That's not true.
Right. I'm sure navigating all that for sure.
The great thing about it too is like with us working with veterans in our day jobs, we also talk to them in regards to ask them, do you have a rating? And you'd be surprised how many veterans say, no, I don't have a rating because I feel that somebody else needs it more than me.
Yes. It's a very common thing.
We talk to them and we let them know, no, you need to get in there. You need to, and if you do have a rating, when's the last time that you tried to get it bumped up so that you can get more? And
when did you look for it? Right.
We have the connections. Derek Cox actually volunteers at the VA. So he's able to be able to assist us in directing the veterans on where to go so that they can get the help that they need. For one, that's the biggest thing, getting the help that they need. Whether or not they feel they need it or not, you go into the military 100% good, because that's what MEPS does for you. You go through all the screenings, the military enlistment processing station. They make sure that you are 100% before you go to boot camp.
Right.
There is not one person, whether they served in boot camp and they got injured at boot camp or whatever, they served 4 years, they served 20 years. It doesn't matter. You don't come out of the service 100%.
No.
Right.
So therefore, even if you submit for a rating to the VA and they give you a 0 rating, that is still a rating that will assist you later on in life.
Yes. So true. Good. I love that PSA.
We talk to veterans. We help them out. Every veteran that we talk to, obviously, we ask them once they feel comfortable talking with us, because you got to break that wall down before you can get personal.
Sure.
So I think that's one of the things that Brad and I have been able to do. And then the rest of the team too. I mean, we reach out right now, the whole state of Michigan. We have 2 of our board members that are on the east side of the state also.
Okay.
So they have their own sphere of veterans that they talk with, and that they're able, and if they have any questions or they need help, they reach out to us, we reach out to them, and we just all work together to try to prevent those veterans from thinking that their last resort is to take their own life.
That's awesome. Good. Well, with all that said, because so much great information, and yes, the benefits is huge. My husband actually works for our local county office. He's the director there. So anything benefits, I'm always like, anything benefits Grand Traverse County, you got to go see him. So I would highly encourage people to look into those resources in their own communities, wherever you're at. Is there anything kind of to wrap up the idea of 92 for 22, like that we can help you with? What do you need people for? Where can we kind of help you guys take that next level step?
Go ahead, Ken.
Well, the biggest thing is the support, getting our name out there and then supporting us in the different events that we do. Just because we raise money at these different events and everybody's like, where's this money go to? You know, you guys got all this money. Our ultimate goal is to get a piece of property where veterans can come to and just relax with their families without having to deal with the stresses out there in the real world.
Sure.
So we have 45% of what we get donated to us monthly goes to saving for that property.
Nice.
Another 45% of the money that is raised each month and donated each month goes to helping out veterans within the state of Michigan.
Nice.
Whether it's financially, they need a car. We just helped out 28 Marines just on Monday, sending out $50 gift cards for Meijer and Walmart. And all 28 of them were impacted by the COVID-19 shutdown. They were either they either lost their job or their spouse lost their job. So we're able to help them out. I mean,
not only monetarily too. Like there was 3 Marines that were living in the college dorms that were going to be homeless at the end of the month. So we've even connected them with another nonprofit that we know that can help them, with the house.
Nice.
So we helped them on multiple levels.
Right.
We weren't supposed to say their names and branches, Ken.
Sorry.
Well,
we didn't want to say their names just because we didn't want to be like, oh, they're just only going to give the Marines. No,
right. Marines.
We did just this past month. We did just recently help an Army veteran.
There we go.
He got it. He got the training for his service dog paid for.
Nice.
So I mean, the funds that are coming in, they're going out for good causes, and the thing is we take in applications. So there is the application on our website too. If any veteran is in need, but then like Brad said earlier, that we're hard-headed and we don't like to ask for help sometimes. So somebody can nominate a veteran for assistance too.
Okay, perfect.
And then there's a process that we have to go through. We have to talk with the veterans to make sure that everything is legit. And then it comes to the board meeting.
Yeah, because I mean, let's face facts. When a veteran's asking for money, like, okay, are we gonna just randomly give you money without even asking any other questions? Because if we give you money, are we gonna feed the monster?
Right.
Right. So we actually have to review like financial statements and things just to make sure. And if there's any way that we can help, okay, look at this. You're paying for Hulu, Netflix, YouTube TV, Apple TV.
Right.
$500 right there. Do you really need all of them?
Right. Let's get real here. Right. I love it.
So trying to help them, do that. But along the lines of all the donations that we receive, we also don't take any money out of this organization. We are all volunteers. So 100% of all the funds go back to helping veterans, either for the end game of having the resort, if you will, or helping them monetarily with however we can.
Sure. Along the way type thing. Awesome. Very
cool.
Yeah,
I mean, that's where it goes. And then that final 10%, because I know there's some math wizards out there. And then
I was like, where's it? We only got to 90. I was going to ask you that.
No, I knew it. So that goes to the admin and marketing.
Perfect.
So like when we get our different swag that we have at the event,
most definitely.
It's got to be paid for prior to people giving the donation for it. So.
Yeah. I figured, but I just wanted to make sure everyone else knew that.
Yeah,
there's a veteran organization tuning in right now that does just-in-time inventory. Hit me up. I want to talk.
There you go. There's a hookup right there. Cool.
Yeah. So I mean, people can visit us at our website, www.924 the word FOR 22.org.
Perfect.
Or they can also look us up on Facebook and Instagram, social media platforms.
Yeah, our Facebook page is monitored by the entire board. Right?
Okay,
so
perfect.
Shoot a message, you will get one back.
Awesome.
At some point in time, pretty quickly. I mean, we kind of pride ourselves on being responsive right away. Within 24, 48 hours, we have a resolution in place. You know,
Good.
we have something in motion. So my final thoughts are this: do something today to impact the 22.
I love it.
Do something today, whatever it may be. Something small, something big. Just do something. Right now is more important than ever. With quarantine and everything, vets are losing their minds, even though we recluse ourselves all the time. We are
right.
So make them feel loved. Don't let them think that they are alone, because they are not.
I love it.
Yep.
Good stuff.
Pick up your phone, call somebody, text somebody, ask them how they're doing.
For sure. Awesome. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for sharing about 92 for 22. I'm glad we finally got you guys on and for supporting. And anyone who wants to kind of look up gatherveterans.com, that's our website. You can kind of check out what we're doing, kind of what we're looking to do throughout the state of Michigan. And we actually just added San Antonio to our plate. So that's kind of fun. But if you're all over the state of Michigan, they want us to come down there and start kind of maybe have a gather down there. So our owner's all about it. But really the state of Michigan too, since that's where we're at, we figured might as well start at home. So we're just looking to expand and reach as many veterans as we can, any organizations, any businesses that want to support at any level, because of course we have to be able to be paid for to be a resource, and to just be a one-stop resource where everything's kind of coming all together for veterans, so we can kind of take away that overwhelm of it and just be a resource, a very real and authentic and raw resource for veterans. Not real heady stuff. If you can tell, we're kind of laid back.
That goes a long way with that. I mean,
for sure.
Real you are, because I mean, we have a BS detector like no other.
right. Well, hopefully it didn't go off. Ken's like, who's this crazy girl? It's all good.
People, like we were taught how to read people. Like, are you friend or foe? Do I attack or, whatever. So we can detect the BS pretty quickly, and
is he trying to tell me something, Ken?
No, all I'm saying is the more real you are, the less BS you omit.
Amen. Amen to that. I'm with you. We are a no BS kind of organization here at Gather Veterans for sure. So thank you again for jumping on with us. We will produce your video. Make sure you guys get a copy. You can share it wherever. But thanks for those who joined us live. If you want to check out 92for22.org, that's their website. I did also put a link to your Facebook page in the video description, or just plug it right into Facebook. You guys can find them. We will feature them on our Gather Veterans page as well coming up. So thanks again.
Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for having us. And if you're a veteran out there listening right now, you're not alone. We're here for you. Reach out, talk to somebody, tell your story. It'll make you feel better.
Perfect. Thanks.